did it. Brad did a glorious job of pulling out of our tight spot this morning. We had some neighbors pull in and made our spot a little narrower than it was before, but he did a glorious job, and it is a beautiful day leaving Saratoga. We are headed to Colville today, about 4 to 5 hours depending, and we're gonna stop in a little bit and get gas and keep trucking on the road. So we just stopped in Rawlins, Wyoming for gas, and I'm making Brad a peanut butter sandwich. So I'm going to tell you a little story. We are in Rawlins, and my grandpa Leonard had a cousin, his mom's sister's boy, and his name was Fred, and he was a big historian and genealogist for his family. And for anybody that knows me, which is anybody watching this channel, you know that I love me some genealogy. And so a couple years ago, Grandpa and this boy and Fred, they would often talk genealogy because Grandpa loved genealogy. And a few years back, I had talked to Fred on the phone, and he was elderly and declining, and he was going to send me some stuff. Well, he was in a nursing home. I knew he wouldn't, and he never did. Every once in a while, I would check up on him, though, you know, look through the obits, make sure he was still alive. And on a whim in June, early June, like June 1st or something, I checked, and he had just passed away a couple days earlier. And, you know, Grandpa has been gone for a couple years, and so it was just really sad. And I waited an appropriate amount of time, and I contacted a daughter or woman that I found and assumed was his daughter, and she was, and I knew he had a lot of genealogy stuff, and I knew he had some original stuff, original letters and pictures, and I wanted them. And I just said, hey, you know, if nobody in your side of the family wants them, I will gladly take them off your hands. I will pay you to ship them to me. And she's like, okay, you know, I'm going up there to do stuff with my brother, to go through stuff in a month or two. Okay, so blah, 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 this and that. A couple months go by, you know, I'm not waiting by the door for the mail by any means, because you just never know. And all of a sudden, a couple months later, she writes me up and says, hey, what's your address? And so I give it to her, and all of a sudden, one day, the end of July, there it was, this big, not this big, much, much larger, I'm telling a story to the microwave, box, this huge box of all of this genealogy stuff, original pictures I had never seen before of my family, my grandma, and great-grandma, and this stack, like 3 or 4 inches thick, of these old letters from like 1882, I think is the oldest, up to 1900. And if you heard screaming about right at the beginning of August coming from my general vicinity, it was me, because I was so excited. Anyway, moral of the story is, Rawlins was where they were from, around this area. So that is your story for today. Looks like my gas man is done. Sandwiches are made. We're gonna keep trucking. That is disconcerting. Stop it. Hadley. Is that fun? We have officially made it to Utah. We'll be in Utah for the next several days. lights on the flag, and the other one is Nicaragua. There's a rainbow on the coat of armor in the center of the flag. So only 2 flags in all of the world that have purple on them. And I think that is sad. They should all be required to have purple. So we made it to Utah. We have about a half hour to go for our stop for the next couple of nights. And it's a beautiful day and the drive has been great. Brad's been doing an awesome job. Regarding our fun fact for today, that there are only 2 country flags that have purple in them. The reason for this, I found out, is because back when they were doing this, purple dye was actually very expensive and very rare because it had to be mixed from the mucus of sea snails, sea slugs, something. So it was very rare, and yeah, so not many countries had it because it was expensive and it was rare. So that is why there is not more purple in more country flags. But we should be able to create it now, so we need to start incorporating it into more flags. This is the end of our day in Colville, our first day here in Colville. We came up from Saratoga today. It was a great drive. It was beautiful, beautiful weather, beautiful countryside. Colville is a really small town, kind of like Saratoga, but you know, they're just these small towns, especially in the West like this, they're just rich in history and culture, and I just love them. I love the history. It's a lot of fun. So that is all for today. Tomorrow we're going up to Ogden, Utah. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. And then we are going to Idaho. We've never been to Idaho. So yeah, you guys have a good night and we love you all. And come back tomorrow as we keep finding our way. Oh, yes. How do you fix a broken pumpkin? With a pumpkin patch, obviously. And, oh yes, last thing. This last 15-second clip is for my mama, because she told me once upon a time that she just loves the sound of the wind whistling through an aspen tree. I'm pretty sure this is an aspen tree. If it's not, it's the wind whistling through some form of tree, but I'm pretty sure it's aspen. So enjoy this peace and quiet from, I don't even know where we are. Eastern? Yeah, Eastern Utah. I have directional problems. Love you guys.